Hello, my name is Rodolfo Vargas, and today we're going to be talking about what is the greatest victory that a person can have. Hi, Rodolfo Vargas for Valuetainment. I always ask myself, why these people become so successful? Why these people accomplish so much victory in their lives? And I started thinking to myself, why is it some people, they have a great relationship in their lives. They have great victories. They make a lot of money. They have great relationship with their families. They're in shape. They have all these great trips that they go. And I started to think to myself, why not me? What can I do to achieve the success that these people have? So I started investigating. What can I need to do? What is the greatest victory that these people have? And I started searching. I started asking. I started reading. And I found that the greatest victory that a person can have is victory over self. And Plato says, he has a great quote that I wanted to share with you, is the first and best victory is conquer ourselves. So I wanted to talk to you about what are the 4 points that we can do every day to conquer ourselves. Point number 1 is to start by having discipline in the small stuff. I started interviewing people. I started asking, and what do you do every day? And they started telling me, Rodolfo, what you need to do, wake up a little bit earlier in the morning. Go 30 minutes before. If a lot of people are going to the gym at 6, you go at 5:30. And I started having all those disciplines. I started, maybe I'm drinking too much soda. Maybe you drink a lot of soda. Maybe you need to start drinking more water. And we start about these couple things, these little things. I started saying to my wife, I love you more. I started to tell a reminder, those little things. Start having more discipline. If you're in sales and you need to make phone calls, maybe you need, if everybody's making 25 phone calls, 50 phone calls, 100, 200 phone calls a day, and you're the type of person that you don't make phone calls because you might be a little bit afraid of making phone calls, why don't you start making 10 phone calls a day? Maybe it is that you're afraid to go in and talking to strangers. Maybe you don't like public speaking. And you're afraid to go and talk in front of 100, 2,000 people. No, don't do that. Maybe you can start by having small conversations. Every time somebody asks a question in the room, you're the first person to raise their hand. So you start by having discipline in this small stuff. Point number 2, expand the belief that you have over yourself. When I grew up, I always heard stuff. Rodolfo, you cannot do that. No, Rodolfo, that will be impossible. I came into the U.S. and a lot of people, no, Rodolfo, you cannot do it. You don't speak perfect English. You cannot do that. I remember I was a kid that my dream was to become a soccer player. And no, you cannot do that. Well, it will be impossible for you to do it. I wanted to be an Olympic swimmer. And some people say, no, that will be impossible for you to do it. And we have all these limiting beliefs. And I started reading about this guy, and you're familiar with it. His name is Roger Bannister. And nobody believed, for years, nobody has ever done the mile under 4 minutes. Nobody has ever done that in their lives for thousands of years. Just to put in perspective, 2,000 years ago, the ancient Greeks, they wanted to break that record. And in order to break it, they used to put lions to run under the athletes to see if they could run the mile under 4 minutes. Nobody has ever done it before. So Roger Bannister, this guy, 1954, he says, I can do it. I believe that I can run the mile before 4 minutes. And I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. And I believe in myself that I can do it. You know what happened? He did it. And after that, running after running, everybody breaking that record. Just to put in perspective again, 13-year-old girls right now are running the mile under 4 minutes. A lot of people are doing it. So it's just a limiting belief. And because we have that limiting belief, we believe, no, that will be impossible for me to accomplish that in my life. Point number 3, practice delaying gratification. I was reading and I was watching this video the other day, and I read it and I went and investigated what was that about. And I read about the marshmallow event. And I went and I started looking. I went to YouTube. What is that about? What is this study that I started in 1970s? And it's very simple. They put some kids, 5, 7 years old kids, they put in a room and they give them one marshmallow. And all they needed to do is this. We're going to live in this place. We're going to live in this room. 5 to 7 year old girls and boys. We're going to live in this room all by yourself. You decide. You can either eat the marshmallow right now, or you can wait for another 15 minutes. And if you wait, we're going to give you a second marshmallow. So guess what happened? You will see the kids, eating it. Some kids, they were just smelling it. Some kids, they were trying to eat it. Some kids, they were like trying to do stuff to get their mind not to think about the marshmallow. There was this little girl that what she did, she opened the marshmallow in the middle and she took all the stuff. And so be careful with that girl. I believe that will be difficult to put that girl in the banking or a financial field. But anyways, this is the story about the marshmallow. But what's interesting was not the study. The interesting was 20 years later, 30 years later, they investigated these kids again. And they realized that the kids that waited and they didn't eat the marshmallow and they wait for the second marshmallow, they were smarter, they were more disciplined, they had better jobs, they graduated from school, and they have a better futures. They have more stable relationships. And what happened was that people who practice delaying gratification, they realize that there is a difference between happiness and pleasure. Pleasure, we just get it right now, but happiness is long lasting. It's gonna last for a more time, and it's gonna bring you more peace of mind in your life. Point number 4, learn to finish well. You know what we're trying to conquer in ourselves? We need to learn also how to finish. A lot of people, they are very good at starting stuff. One of my mentors told me, if you want to go to a gym, go to the gym in February. And I say, why in February? He said, a lot of people trying to get in shape. No. He says, a lot of people who did the New Year resolutions in December, they start going in January and they go to the gym. But you know what happened in February? The gyms are so empty because a lot of people are so good at starting stuff, but they are not good in finishing stuff. There was this runner. And this runner was coming to the Olympics. And these Olympics were so powerful. And this guy was coming from far, far away. I think he was coming from Africa. And far, far away. And he started running. He started running for the Olympics, for the marathon. And he started running. And all of a sudden, he cannot run anymore because his feet hurts and he cannot run anymore. And everybody started passing him. And you know what happened? The run finished. The run ends. And an hour passed, and 2 hours passed. And he says, I want to finish this run. I need to finish. And he started finishing it. And he finished the run. 2 hours later, when nobody was in the stadium anymore. And one of the reporters comes and says, what happened? Why did you finish? Nobody was running with you. What happened? And he says, my country sent me 3,000 miles away. Not just to be on the starting. Not just to start the marathon. They sent me over here to finish the career. So I encourage everybody, if you want to conquer yourself, to start finishing everything and anything that you start in your life. That's my message for you. I hope that you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe at the link below. This is Rodolfo Vargas for Valuetainment.